Okay, welcome back. In this module, we're talking all about flashcards. So I get a lot of questions about flashcards, and flashcards it's something that I've used throughout our learning journey. When my baby was 3 months up until now she's 6, I still use flashcards. Now there's different ways and different reasons why you would use flashcards. I'm going to be breaking those down in this module today. So here I have different flashcards. I'm going to pull up some of them so you guys can see different kinds. You can get, flashcards from Dollar Tree, from Walmart, Amazon. You can make your own flashcards. You can have a flashcard about anything. They can be colors, shapes, states, presidents, numbers, additions. For math, like fast math, if you're trying to do the mental math where the child really gets the equations or really gets the 1 + 1 is 2, you can use a flashcards. There's some for time. So I'm going to be breaking down how you can use them, when to use them, and also what not to do when you're using them. So let's first start with babies. Okay, so babies, I started using flashcard with my daughter when she was 3 months. So babies can learn anything in a fun, factual way. As long as it's a fact and as long as it's fun, they can learn it. Okay, you just got to keep it simple and you got to keep it fast. So whenever you are trying to teach your baby numbers, colors, ABCs, you want to make sure that you have something that is super simple. All they need is a fact. This is one. Now I want to show you, if I can find the number one here. Now this number here, this number one is also pretty, trying to make sure you guys can see it. It's pretty basic, but it's not as basic as this one here. So this one here has the number one and it also has the number word one. When we're dealing with babies, we have to keep things short and simple. We have the fact here. This is one. That's the fact. This is one. We don't need any other distractions. Babies' attention spans are seconds. You have a few seconds of good attention before they're on to thinking or trying to get into something else. So we have to really be intentional and take advantage of the time that we have. These flashcards are going to be better and highly recommended if you're using them for babies. Again, because they're plain. The fact is there and there's no more distractions, okay? So things like this, when you're doing it with babies, keep it simple, super plain. This one here, we have A, super simple. Now, on the back of this, we have an object. I would not recommend using this object for babies unless you're actually letting them know this is an apple. Apple. But we don't want to go into A. A says app. A stands for apple, or apple begins with A. It's too much for your baby. We just want them to know that A, this is A. And if we're just doing the objects, dog, dog. Okay, so for babies, we have to keep it super, super simple and fast. So for our toddlers, this is when we can start, being more creative. We can start using things like this here. So we have the number here, we have 3, and then we have the word 3. But on the back, we have the quantity. So they can actually see that this is 3. Having quantities like this here, just 3, it's also okay for babies. This one here, 9, because this is a fact. Let me see, 5. Let me show you. Okay. They don't have 5 like they usually do. Okay, so although this is like colorful and it's an object, this here is the quantity. It has 5. It's a fact. It's never going to change, especially this symbol. Like usually for even us as humans or as adults, we see this here and we do not have to count 5. We don't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We look at it and we know that just by the way that it's shaped, that it's 5. This is something that babies and little ones are picking up on. So if you have flashcards like this where you're just going over number quantity, this is also good for little ones or for babies as well. But don't go into 9, 9. This is the word 9. You guys can see that, right? It's too much. You don't have time for that. Again, they're going to be on to the next thing really quick. Same, this is 3. If you just want to do 3, 9. Then that would be it. But when we're talking about toddlers, this is when you can start saying 3, 3, or you have the A here, then you can explain apple. Apple starts with A, okay? And so then when we start to get more advanced with our older ones, trying to see, okay. Okay, so this one here, we have a flashcard. This one here is boy. They're actually reading. These are picture words. Let me show this to you guys. And the age, have an age. Yes, age 4 to 5. Come on. Guys, it's not picking up, but it says 4 to 5. It's just too much of a glare. Or it says 4 plus, 4 plus, so 4 and older. So this one here is a flashcard. The child would just read it. Boy, boy. They would have to actually sound it out. And then once they get more familiar with the word, they no longer have to read it. They can look at it and say boy, or they no longer have to blend it. They no longer have to say yeah. They can just know that it's boy. Same thing with cow. Eventually, your child will just be able to look at it and say cow. So you could have these flashcards here with them and ask them, you're trying to get that repetition. You want them to make sure that they know it. So you can just sit here and just go through the flashcards. Boy, cow. Okay, so that's how you could use different flashcards for different ages. We went the babies, we talked about the babies, the toddlers, and also the children. So now I want to talk to you all about how to present these flashcards to each stage, okay? So when we have babies, know that our babies are going to give us seconds of their attention, and then they are going to get distracted. They're going to be on something else. So we have to literally sit down with our little ones for seconds. So say if we're just now starting, their attention span is super, 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 super short. We would just do 5 cards. Start with 5. Okay. Now, before I go on, I want to mention that whenever you are doing flashcards, and this is with learning, but specifically with flashcards, you want to make sure that you are happy, you are excited, and that you are ready to teach them. They are going to feed off your energy. If you are happy, you're excited, yay, it's learning time. Yay, we're going to learn our numbers. Then they will be excited to learn as well. So you're going to sit your little one down. Make sure there's no distractions. This is quiet. It's you and your little one face to face. You're facing each other. You have your cards here, and then you're going to go over the numbers really quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! After each flashcard lesson, you're going to say good job. You're going to pray, yay, you did good job. So that they will feel like they've accomplished something. They know that them completing this is something that is good and beneficial for them. Also with flashcards, we want to, again, keep it short because we want them to be expecting more. So if we say we went all the way to 10 and you see that your little one is losing interest, if you continue to do that each day when you sit down with them, you go to 10 and you see by 6, they're off, they're wondering, they're on something else, your lessons are too long. And what this is going to do also is it's going to have your little one feel as though whenever she pulls out the cards, I know this is going to be long and I'm not going to be interested. As opposed to you sitting down really quick, only going through 5, and they're still paying attention to you, they're going to be expecting more. So you kind of leave them wanting more. You stop when you see that they're engaged and you say, okay, we'll do more later or we'll do more tomorrow. Never stop or stop before they lose attention and never go over, because eventually they'll be like, oh my goodness, this is going to be, the flashcards that I have to sit through until mom is done. Okay. Now this is, let me put these back. really quick. Okay, and this is going to be the same with any flashcards that you do, whether it be shapes, whether it be alphabets. You're going to keep it really fast. You're going to be happy when you start, and you're going to say good job when it's done. And yeah, just make sure that they're quick, okay? Now, when we are dealing with older ones, so say 1 to 3, this is when we can start including the little ones, having them engage. So say you're just now starting out, you have your 2-year-old sitting in front of you. You're going to go over the flashcards. You're first going to start by just going over the flashcard, just like we did with the babies. You can do maybe 7 or 10, depending upon your child, and just if you've been doing it. If you're just now starting, then start lower and then increase whenever whenever you see that their intention increases. So but you're going to first start by just you doing the flashcards. So 1, 2, 3. And then you want to start including the child. So say your child is not yet speaking, you just have them point. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. This makes sure that your child is not losing attention, that they actually are focusing on what you're doing, but it also brings that attention on that number. 3, they know that that's 3. 4, they know that that's 4. That's reinstating that that is a number 4. Once your child does start talking, this is when you can have them repeat after you. 1, they say 1. 2, they say 2, so on and so forth. And then eventually, when they're older, 4 or 5, or even while they're still 3, 3, 4, or 5, you would then have them tell you what it is. So you would just go through and they would say 1, 2, 3. They will be able to do it themselves. Okay. So that's how you would work through flashcards. And this is all flashcards where it's just the facts, right? The shapes, the alphabets, the numbers. Now these here, again, it will be different because they're actually reading. So these here will be different. But, it's even if you have a 4 or 5-year-old, it's still good to sit down, especially with the phonetic sounds or lowercase letters. It's good to just have them sit down and go over them, say them to themselves or say them to you, repeat them, not repeat them, but tell you what they are. So they just go through them by themselves and tell you what those letters are. It's good for repetition. It's good practice for them. Another type of flashcards that we have here are the, I got these from the Dollar Tree. Come on. There we go. First words flashcards. And these are good when you're just trying to introduce your children to different objects, right? Now, although it has the word here, these are still good for babies. So you could still sit down with your child, bird, apple, sun, trees. So these are familiar objects the child will be, exposed to throughout their day to day. And it's words that they could actually benefit from actually knowing. Now, one thing that I do suggest, like these are super, super cute, right? They're adorable, but I highly suggest that you use whenever you're doing flashcards with babies and even 1 to 2-year-olds, that you use the real images. Let's see if I have some of those here. You using the real images is going to make it more realistic, because children, when they're born, they don't understand like cartoons and fantasies and imaginations. They don't understand that yet. So it can sometimes be confusing to them, if they see some sort of like cartoonish type of object. Now, it's not that big of a deal, but if you can, I don't see them in here. If you can get real objects, then I suggest that you get real objects. Okay, yeah, no, they're not in here. But I did have like a set of real animals that I will go over. My son actually loves those. They're probably on my desk somewhere. But if you can get the real object, the real image of the object, then that's better. If not, then don't worry about it. Okay, so that is all I have about flashcards. I'll see you in the next module.